A young man is sitting in a park with his friends, eating a peanut butter sandwich. Within minutes, he develops lip tingling and itching, followed by lip swelling, itchy hives across his arms, throat tightness, shortness of breath, and wheezing. An emergency doctor arrives and administers an EpiPen. He slowly recovers. What is the most likely diagnosis? If you answered anaphylaxis, you're absolutely correct. And if you're already thinking type I hypersensitivity, that's extra points. Okay, so grab your coffees, guys, because today we're going to use a memory scene to lock in the top 10 facts we need to know about type I hypersensitivity for your exams. Welcome to the Hay Fever Circus, where everything revolves around type I hypersensitivity. Notice the hay bales, peanuts, flowers, and other allergy triggers scattered throughout the scene. Each part of this circus represents a high-yield exam fact. Let's begin with our first memory anchor. Notice that the trapeze tower is shaped like a Roman numeral 1, and the circus entrance sign reads number 1 Allergy Circus. Together, these visual anchors help us lock in type I hypersensitivity as the classic immediate allergic reaction, with symptoms developing rapidly after allergen exposure. At the center of the circus stands the great IgE stonehead, covered in golden antibodies, eosinophil carvings, and wearing a mast cell mask. This is to remind us that type I hypersensitivity is driven by IgE antibodies, mast cells, and eosinophils. Look at the refreshment stands: the asthma stand, the food allergy stand, the Urticaria stand. These represent the classic IgE-mediated diseases: asthma, hay fever, food allergy, hives, and anaphylaxis, all type I hypersensitivity. At the entrance of the circus, IgE workers are handing out IgE hats. You can't enter the Hay Fever Circus without one. Receiving an IgE hat represents the first exposure to an allergen. During this stage, the immune system produces IgE antibodies, which bind to mast cells and prepare the body for future exposures. This process is known as sensitization. Importantly, symptoms usually do not occur at the first exposure. They occur when the allergen is encountered again. Notice the happy circus goers wearing their IgE hats, holding hands and smiling. The linked hands remind us of IgE cross-linking. When the allergen enters the body again, it binds to multiple IgE antibodies on the surface of mast cells at the same time. This cross-linking activates the mast cell and triggers the release of inflammatory mediators, marking the start of an allergic reaction. Now let's look back at the mast cell degranulation main event. Notice all the bubbles bursting out of the mast cell stone head. These bubbles represent mast cell degranulation, the release of inflammatory mediators from activated mast cells. This is a central event in type I hypersensitivity and is responsible for the symptoms of allergic reaction. Now look at the histamine dunking pool. Notice the circus worker turning a red valve labeled histamine release, filling the pool with histamine and yellow mucus. This reminds us that histamine is the early mediator released during type I hypersensitivity. Histamine is responsible for many of the classic allergic symptoms, including wheezing, swelling, a runny nose, and watery eyes. Look up at the Allergy Circus scoreboard. Displayed on the board are the most important mast cell mediators, with histamine at the top and leukotrienes close behind. While histamine is a major early mediator, leukotrienes are among the most important mediators of bronchoconstriction. They play a major role in allergic disease and asthma by causing airway narrowing, increased mucus production, edema, and ongoing inflammation. Some of those circus goers are not looking so good. Notice the people at the front of the scene sneezing with runny noses, raised hives, and swollen lips and eyes. These are the classic clinical features of type I hypersensitivity and occur as a result of mast cell mediator release. And finally, notice the Allergy Circus has its own anaphylaxis response unit, complete with emergency epinephrine injectors. Look at the people at the front of the scene. I think one of them might need its help. This reminds us that anaphylaxis is the most severe form of type I hypersensitivity. It can rapidly cause airway compromise, hypotension, and shock, and without immediate treatment can be fatal. So let's run through our scene one more time to recap the top 10 things we need to know for exams. Number 1. Type I hypersensitivity is an immediate allergic reaction. If symptoms develop within minutes of allergen exposure, think Type I hypersensitivity. Number 2. Type I hypersensitivity is driven by IgE antibodies, mast cells, and eosinophils. Think IgE, mast cells, and eosinophils when you see allergy or asthma questions. Number 3. Type I hypersensitivity causes asthma, hay fever, food allergy, hives, and anaphylaxis. When you see these classic allergic conditions, think IgE-mediated type I hypersensitivity. Number 4. First exposure produces IgE antibodies and sensitizes mast cells. This is known as sensitization and will occur without symptoms. Number 5. Repeated allergen exposure causes IgE cross-linking and mast cell activation. Repeat exposure causes symptoms because IgE cross-linking triggers mediator release. Number 6. Mast cell degranulation is a central event in type I hypersensitivity. Activated mast cells release inflammatory mediators that cause allergic symptoms. Number 7. Histamine is a major early mediator released during type I hypersensitivity reactions. Histamine causes many classic allergic symptoms, including wheezing, swelling, a runny nose, and watery eyes. Number 8. Leukotrienes are powerful mediators of bronchoconstriction in type I hypersensitivity. Think leukotrienes when asthma symptoms worsen due to airway narrowing and mucus production. Number 9. Type I hypersensitivity causes sneezing, runny nose, wheezing, urticaria, and angioedema. These classic allergy symptoms result from mast cell mediator release. And number 10, anaphylaxis is the most severe form of type I hypersensitivity. Think anaphylaxis when severe allergy causes airway compromise, hypotension, or shock. Give epinephrine immediately. So that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this scene, please like and subscribe for more MedScenes. For extra exam resources, download our high-yield study packs at medscenes.com.au. And now that you've got type I hypersensitivity under your belt, join me in the next memory scene where we'll explore type II hypersensitivity and the antibodies that target tissues directly. So until the next scene, see it, remember it, master it.